slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And we're back with more Aetherdrift spoilers. So, hoo-ha. Starting our list off today is an absolute crazy banger of a card in Coldstoke Gearhulk. 2 black, 2 red, and a generic for a 5/4 artifact creature construct. It has Menace and Death Touch. When this creature enters, put a creature card with a mana value of 4 or less from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control with a finality counter on it. That creature gains Menace, Death Touch, and Haste. At the beginning of your next end step, exile that creature. What the Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of a creature on your turn, then come back on my turn. I drop this. You use your creature against you, and then exile it. That's an up yours moment. Ouch! Hoo-ha! Next up, we have another dirty card in Howl Squad Heavy. A red and 2 for a 2/3 Goblin Mercenary. Has start your engines. Other goblins you control have haste. Okay. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. That token attacks this combat if able. And when it has max speed, you can tap it for a red for each goblin you control. What? And this is only a rare? I mean, goblin decks are just going, oh ho ho, oh ho ho. Insert Halo theme here. This in your goblin deck, it just makes everything crazier. And more red mana for more red burn spells. If you're a goblin lover, what's not to love about this card? Hoo-ha. Next up, we have Grim Bauble. A black mana for an artifact says when it enters, target creature and opponent controls get -2/-2 till end of turn. Pay a black and 2 and tap and sacrifice it to Surveil 2. That's not bad. Cheap little artifact, does black things, and then does some more stuff. Hoo-ha. Next up is another card that is an absolute banger for your Neon Dynasty Shurikai Genesis engine deck. Alcrian Armory is a white and 3 for an artifact that reads, creatures you control get +0/+1 and have vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target mount or vehicle you control. Till end of turn, that permanent becomes saddled if it's a mount and becomes an artifact creature if it's a vehicle. What? Free crew cost? Like I said, you're Shurikai. Look, I don't need 8 people. I just got this thing. Your Shurikai's now in An 8/9 with vigilance that you can choose to make it an artifact vehicle, artifact creature. Each combat. Yeah. What? Excuse me. Then we have light wheel enhancements. So a single white mana for an enchantment aura, enchant creature, or vehicles. It has start your engines. Enchanted permanent gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. When you have max speed, you can cast this from your graveyard. Okay. That's really kind of, yeah. We have Deathless Pilot. So a black and 1 for a 2/2 zombie pilot. This creature saddles, mounts, and cruise vehicles though its power were 2 greater. And pay a black and 3 to return this card from your graveyard to your hand. So it has some recursion stuff go on, and it can power stuff as though its power were 4. Next up, we have Push the Limit, which is a beefy 2 red and 5. Turn all mountain vehicle cards from your graveyard to the battlefield and sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Vehicles you control become artifact creatures till end of turn. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. That's some heavy stuff there. Bringing your stuff back and then, getting rid of it at the end of the turn. Then we have Kickoff Celebrations. Red and 1 for an enchantment that reads, start your engines. Enchantment enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. When it has max speed, you can sacrifice this enchantment to have creatures and vehicles you control gain haste until end of turn. Okay. We have Outpace Oblivion. So a red and 2 for an enchantment with start your engines. When it enters, it deals 5 damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Pay 2 generic and sacrifice this enchantment. Deals 2 damage to each player who doesn't have max speed. Ew. We have Howler's Heavy. A blue and 3 for a 3/4 Seal Pirate, something we saw in the Rosewater spoilers, has cycling for a blue and 1. And when you cycle this card, target creature vehicle gets -3/-0 till end of turn. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Some bonus to cycle this guy. Next up we have Pothole Mole. A green and 2 for a 2/3 mole. When it enters, mill 3 cards and return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, it fits in the graveyard recursion deck. Hoo-ha. We have Locust Spray. Black mana for instant that reads, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Cycle it for a black. Yes? Whoopsie. Broadcast Rambler. A white and 4 for a 5/4 vehicle. When it enters, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token and crew it for 1. Seems kind of fair. Gets a little buddy. Not unhappy with it. Next up, we have Gallant Strike for a white and 1. Instant that reads, strike target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Cycle it for 2. We have Guidelight Synergist. A white and 3 for a 0/4 robot artificer flying. This creature gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. Okay, you want this in a more artifact creature deck. You know, more artifact heavy deck. We have Leonin Surveyor. A white and 1 for 2/2 Cat Scout with Start Your Engine. During your turn, this creature has first strike. It has max speed. You can pay 3 generic and exile this card from your graveyard to draw a card. Okay, kind of fair. Lotus Guard Disciple. So, a white and 2 for a 2/2 bird cleric with flying. When it enters, target creature or vehicle gains lifelink and indestructible till end of turn. Okay. That's kind of fun. We got Sundial Dawn Tyrant. This is the white vanilla, which is a white and 1 for a 3/3 artifact creature construct. Not bad. A 3/3 for 2 mana. Hoo-ha. We've got Swift Wing Assailant. A white and 3 for a 3/3 bird warrior with flying and start your engines. When it has max speed, this creature gets +0/+1 and has vigilance. Kind of some draft chaff, but that's what we're into now. We're into the last bits of the set here. We have Voyager Quick Welder. A white and 2 for a 2/4 artifact creature robot artificer. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast. Okay, he's a fun dude to have. We have Gear Seeker Serpent. 2 blue and 5 for a 5/6 serpent with infinity for artifacts. And paying a blue and 5, this creature can't be blocked this turn. Interesting. Oh, it's a little pricey for that, but there's reducers to reduce your cost for artifact, heavy stuff. And for, costs and stuff. So, Memory Guardian is a blue and 4 for a 3/4 artifact creature robot artificer. It also has affinity for artifacts and flying. We have Nimble Thopterist. So, A blue and 3 for a 3/2 Vidalcan Artificer. When it enters, create a 1/1 Helistopter artifact creature token with flying. Okay, this guy gets a little buddy. We have Sabotage Strategist. 2 blue and 2 for a 2/2 Vidalcan Ranger, mentioned in the Rosewater spoilers. Has flying and vigilance. Whenever one or more creatures attack you, those creatures get -1, -0 till end of turn. Has an exhaust ability, 2 blue and 5 to put 3 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Okay, so this guy can get bigger. Okay, I'm not quite unhappy with it. In the long game, he can be useful. Next up, we have Scrounging Skyray. A blue and 1 for a 1/2 Fish Pirate. Another thing that was mentioned in the Rosewater spoilers. Has flying. If you discard one or more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. Cycle it for 2. Okay, this guy, he's interesting. Sky Streak Engineer is a blue and 1 for a 1/3 human pilot with flying. And an exhaust ability of a blue and 4 to put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Hoo-haw. So Spectral Interference is a blue and 1 for an instant that reads counter target artifact or creature spell, unless its controller pays 4 generic. Okay, there's a counter spell for you. Hoo-haw. Good old-fashioned Spell Pierce. Blue mana for an instant that reads counter target non-creature spell, unless its controller pays 2 generic. Hoo-haw. That's blue for you. We have Stall Out, something that was mentioned in the Rosewater spoilers. For a blue and 1, you get a sorcerer that reads, tap target creature or vehicle, then put 3 stun counters on it. Which is what I said might happen. And it cycles for 2. So, hoo-haw. We have Trip Up, blue and 3 for instant reads. Target non-land permanents owners puts it on their choice to the top or bottom of their library. Cycle it for 2. Okay, so kind of a unique bounce effect. Not unhappy with that. Ancient Vendetta, a black and 3 for a sorcerer reads. Choose a card name. Search a target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles. So basically, it gets rid of basically play sets of cards. But if you're playing with cards, you can have any number of in a deck. like Heir Apparent, it's not going to work as well, but you're still getting rid of up to 4 copies. Exiled for 4 mana. So, hoo-ha. We got Chitin Gravestalker. So he's a beefy black and 5 for a 5/4 insect warrior. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. Cycle it for 2. Okay, so he's part of the recursion strategy. Well, we're at 20 minutes. We're going to say hoo-ha. We'll see you on the next video.